I'm Pastor Aaron Harris, and this video is about how to build wealth from scratch. In this video, I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how you could start with $0 and you can build wealth from there. So before we dive into what steps you need to take to build your wealth, let's start off with the elephant in the room. The big elephant in the room is that you have to have a decent income. If you're making $10,000 a year, it's going to be very hard for you to build wealth. If you're making $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a year, then you really need to look at what are ways that you can increase the income that you have so that you can make more money. Two easy ways to generate more income is one, through education, where you specialize in whatever field you're in so that you can go and you can make more money. There are millionaires in every field that there is. There are people making a ton of money. So what you have to learn is how to get more education to specialize in what it is that you're doing so that you could build and generate more wealth. Another simple way to generate more income is to work more. Now, in our culture today, many people do not even want to work 40 hours a week or go into work. But hard work pays off. So if you're looking at how to make additional cash, maybe you pick up a side job or an extra job, or you pick up extra hours, or you work some overtime. And that is a simple way to help you to be able to generate more income. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's dive into what it actually looks like to build wealth. Now, the first thing you need to look at is your budget. Your budget is going to largely determine how much money you're going to have. And so many people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year as a household, or they're making a great salary, 80, 90, $100,000, making six figures. But the thing is, they are not budgeting. There are many people making a couple $100,000 a year that is still living a lower middle class lifestyle and are not millionaires because they are spending their money on liabilities instead of spending their money on assets. And they're so worried about keeping up with the Joneses through their car, through eating out. And some people have never been taught about money and they don't know how to utilize money. So the first time they come into money, what they're doing is they're spending all that they have. They're going on elaborate vacations, they're buying handbags, they're buying designer clothes, and it is sucking them dry or eating them dry, where they are going and they don't have any money left over. So what you have to do is you have to make sure, no matter how much money you have, that you set your budget. And when you set your budget, you have to guarantee, you have to make sure that your income is not superseded by what is going out, meaning that you have to make sure that you're making more money, your net income is more than the money that you spend, which sounds like common sense, but you have to also make sure that you're saving an adequate amount of money and that you're also investing a good amount of money as well. So budgeting will help you when it comes to saving more money. And then once you have that money saved and you have that pile of cash, then you have to figure out what you're going to do with it. And that's where investing comes in. Because when you invest your money, then it is able to grow exponentially. So one thing you have to determine is, what field do you want to invest your money in? Are you going to invest it in your 401k and max that out, or put as much money as you can in that so you could build it up until you're ready to retire? Are you going to put it in homes, or maybe try to have a rental property where you can rent that out and you can generate income from that? Are you going to try to put it in the stock market? If you do individual stocks, that's pretty risky, but if you do mutual funds or index funds, then that is pretty safe if you choose a popular one that everyone knows about, like the S&P 500 for an index fund, then you generally cannot go wrong doing that. Or you can look at investing in individual businesses. Now, investing in a business or starting a business is really risky, and you run a high risk of losing all of your money because most businesses that start do not make it past the 3-year mark. But at the same time, the businesses that do make it, that are doing well, that are profitable, give you a chance to make a whole lot of money. So once you're saving and you're budgeting, then your next step is to figure out where you want to invest your money and how you invest, because that is how you turn $100 into 200, 200 into 400, 400 into 800, 800 into 1600, 16 into 32, 32 into 64, and 64 into over $100,000, right? $128,000. So when you're looking at that, that's what you want your money to be in a business and the economy and somewhere that is growing exponentially. And there's a well-known story about a janitor who worked as a janitor most of his life and had a part-time job somewhere else. And he drove a regular car, he wore regular clothes. Nobody thought anything about this janitor. And then when he passed away and they looked at his estate, he was worth over $8 million. Lived in a regular home, drove a regular car, lived a regular lifestyle. But what happened is he was working and he was frugal and he was putting his money away and he was saving and he was investing. And then at the end of his life, he had over $8 million. Now, some people would say, yeah, but he didn't get to enjoy it and he didn't get to spend it and he didn't get to do this and didn't get to do that. But what I want you to focus on is the principle of being frugal. And imagine if you just had a portion of the discipline that this man had, how much money would you be able to save? Or you're probably able to make a lot more money than he was able to make. So all we have to do is we have to save and we have to invest wisely so that our money can grow exponentially. Right now, if you're starting with $0, then you have 3 simple steps to get you started. The first one is making sure that you have an adequate income, meaning that you're not just making minimum wage, that you're learning how to climb up the ladder, that you're educating yourself so that you could charge more for your services, or you're working extra hours so that you can generate more income. So the first thing is work on your income, but the second thing is to work on your budget, because how much money you make does not matter at all if all you're doing is spending everything that you have. That's why professional athletes, people that win the lottery, oftentimes go broke because they're making a lot of money, but they're spending it at the same rate that they're making it. And then at the end of the day, they end up with absolutely nothing. And then third, but not least, what you need to do is make sure that you're investing wisely so that your money can grow exponentially. That means that your money is making money. So if you learned something from this video and you want to learn more about financial management and resources, then watch the other videos which are on this channel, which is all about financial literacy.